Welcome back, Caniacs. Been an off week, but we do have the All Stars competition and a couple other things to talk about. So I'm looking forward to doing that. How you feeling, Ray? It's kind of a malaise here. There's a quarter inch ice on everything. It's wicked cold, and so there's not much going on except for Olympic hockey for me. I'm more
Yeah,
excited about women's Olympic hockey today than I am about the actual All Star game, which is fine for me. But what about you, man?
yeah.
What's going on in your
You know
in
what?
Calgary?
In Calgary, the the way people when you look at weather in Calgary, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It's always changing. We are a balmy 8 degrees right now Celsius, which is much warmer. Snow melting. Um, we get these hard hits of blasts of cold and stuff, and then out of nowhere a Chinook blows over the Rocky Mountains, and all of a sudden we're just nice and balmy spring type temperatures for 5 6 days in a row. And yeah, it's we're enjoying some decent weather.
Nice.
But I will say, much the way that you are kind of, there's an NHL doesn't really have a lot to offer, which is a big statement considering they're
Huge.
doing the All-Star game in
Mhm.
Vegas. You're right. It's the, focus is turning towards the Olympics. The Canadian women are doing great. Um, which is not to be unexpected. The men get their first game for Canada, their first game. Eric Stahl hits the ice on Thursday against Germany, and the competition is going to be very tight among all of the teams that are there. The competitors are put in tiers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Canada, US, Russia, probably top tier. Then you're looking at Sweden, Finland, Czech Republic. They're kind of in that zone. And then you go down from there. And now with no NHL players over there, or with maybe, retired NHL players, things of that
Right. Yeah,
nature,
not
stuff
not
like that,
active, but
not active. Um, you're seeing that the gaps they just aren't there. This would be, I would venture to say it's going to be almost impossible to guess who's going to win the men's gold medal in this competition because everyone has a hand in it. And the U.S. going with a very youthful squad, they're going to be fun to watch. Are those of our podcast listeners who are American, watch those young boys play. They're going to be friggin' exciting,
it,
very exciting.
you hit the nail on the head earlier for exciting. Canada's women's team, I mean, Turnbull has a 5 point game in the opener to just blow away the Swiss. And then today it was, I think final score was it 11 nothing?
11-1,
11-1, excuse me,
11-1 to
11 to 1.
Finland.
I think it's Brienne Jenner and then Sarah Nurse were like on fire, right?
They are,
I
yeah,
didn't get to watch the whole game. I watched part of it. I watched part of the U.S. women's game.
yeah.
I'm going to go back and watch those in full later on.
Mhm.
But if you're a hockey fan right now and not an NHL fan, in my opinion, this weekend should be all about the Olympics because I got to be honest, the All-Star game for me, the skills competition last night, kind of boring. I didn't watch it live, so I was really grateful that I was able to jump on the NBC Sports app and keep hitting that fast forward 30 seconds button
Oh, yes,
because
yes, yes.
I mean maybe I'm just getting old, Ray. I mean, is it me or is it felt like there was a lot of time in between people, was a lot of time in between events for a professional run league. It felt disjointed.
Maybe a little, and I would suggest that perhaps for good reason. There's this is going to sound like I'm trying to make excuses for them, and I apologize, but there's a legitimate safety issue involved in what they're doing because there's little to no warm up, and then they're going out there and they're determining who the fastest skater is and stuff like that. And if you've got zero warm up, zero whatever, and then you're expected to go to hyperdrive, there's concern there, right? And they want
No
to
poke
make sure
checks.
everyone's doing, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, no poke checks.
That was a great line. No poke checks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the same goes for, and the same for the goaltenders and stuff like that. Like they, when they were talking about the goaltending competition for the save streak contest, one of the things that was pointed out on numerous occasions is that this is so much different than in real game time where they're coming in lightning fast and they're not looking to do anything to entertain the crowd. They're looking to score and that's it. Whereas the save streak and stuff like that, everyone going very slow, very deliberate and stuff like that. It just, and for the goaltenders, just totally different. So not the
Yeah.
greatest representation of what they're going through. There's the logistics of all of the cameras and everything on ice have to be adjusted to get new things out there. And
All
there's
good points.
Hughes, yes, Jack Hughes from New Jersey, who did the magic trick of a breakaway goal.
So that's a. I'm gonna let you finish, but that's a good example.
It was entertaining. I saw the gimmick. It was cute, whatever. Like it was an entertaining idea, right? They're all trying to do something unique, entertaining, and stuff like that. Does it really show the skills of these players? No, I don't think it does, but there's an entertainment factor there.
So I'm gonna pick on Hughes to give you my devil's advocate here. Having the kid come out of the box and go down and take the shot and the 2-6 going on was one of the highlights of the night.
It was great. I love the idea.
I think his magic trick lasted about 4 hours. Pretty sure he started and I went and cooked dinner and then I ate dinner and then I had to run down to the grocery store, grab a couple drinks. I came back and Hughes was still. I guess for me the setup took so long that it felt like I'm waiting for the payoff. And maybe that's a cultural thing now. We're used to instant gratification.
Yeah.
But it was worth the wait, I think.
Yes.
Because watching him and the kid do it and then throw the sticks in, I thought was marvelous.
It was fantastic.
Trevor got robbed. I think everybody just about agrees with like the blind. And he says he couldn't see, but I mean, if he really couldn't see, he 100% got robbed. But even if he could see, that was just cool and it was fast,
Yes.
I mean, it was something popular. He came out, he did it, or the Ovechkin jersey change. It was kind of boom, boom, boom. And then I compare it to something like the hardest slap shot competition.
Right.
Or the hardest shot. And it felt like he was over so fast. Guys go up, hit 2 shots, move on. And I was like, this feels anticlimactic, if that makes sense.
Yes. And what's really strange is if you were to compare those trick shots that Hughes and Trevor were involved in comparison to the hardest shot is the actual display of the skill that these people have, as opposed to the entertaining things. Like, we won't even talk about those poor guys who went out to the fountain. They weren't wearing skates, weren't wearing whatever. It was how they're handling their sticks. What was that? Like, yes, you're trying to involve all of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's part of the city, but come on, guys, you need those players like on the ice for those.
And that felt a little clungy to me for a different reason. Like you had to like activate the puck and then put it where you need to go. Yeah. And I forgot who went dead last, but he's sitting there just banging away on one of the pucks and there's nothing going on. I'm kind of like, you could have just left that out for me, I'd have been good with the rest of it. And don't forget, one of my favorite parts was, I'm bad with names, but Jocelyn Lamoureux Davidson went out there during that and just smoked the guys.
Smoked them.
The interview was so cringy. It wasn't quite as bad as, trying to introduce an exceptionally talented female athlete as like Mrs. So-and-so or, so-and-so's wife. It wasn't that cringy, but it was like, what's it like being around here with like all these big, strong, talented hockey guys? And that's the feeling I got. I don't know if it maybe.
Yeah, no,
that's the feeling. And I'm like, dude, like, no. Dude, she is a quality athlete in and of herself.
Yes, you interview her as though she were an NHL All-Star player. She
You
is
would
equal
never
in
ask one of
that.
the guys that. You would never say,
No.
"What's it like being here with Jocelyn?" Even though that would be a perfectly legit question if we were being,
Yeah,
if we're not being
just
biased.
stunning.
It's for the fans. I think the people that were there had a good time. I showed my son the replay that just kind of cuts to the action, and he
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
sure.
But you know, next year I think it was announced for Florida. So someone's like, "Hey, like you're gonna do Florida for the All Star game and then Stadium Series in North Carolina, which we'll get to very very shortly."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would go to the All Star game now for like everything else, but the actual events, I don't
Yeah,
know.
and not even necessarily for the game, which is coming up later
Yeah,
this
and
afternoon.
yeah, and I
Like,
said last week, like the game ends 3-on-3. You know how to make the game better. You know what would get me to watch the Sunday portion, Ray, or the Saturday
what's
Sunday
that?
portion? NHL versus PHF. So
Oh
bring
yeah,
in the PHF All Stars from
yeah.
the women's teams. Men versus women might be a little antiquated. I don't know.
I
That
would
that
love to
might be
have them
fun,
mixed. I
but
would love to have them mixed.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is you have it out there, and you don't even get into like you have to have a woman on every line or something. The way they like to do when they quote unquote integrate sports. No, these are the all stars. The captains pick the lineups, whatever, and play 3-on-3 because I bet that would be fantastic hockey to watch.
Very entertaining, very quick. It would be fun. Now look, here's the thing, and like I don't know, I won't speak for you. I'll speak for myself. Part of the deal with the All-Star game is that I'm old enough to remember when there was actually checking in the All-Star game, where there was real fierce competition between the players and a demand to win.
That that
Like,
dates you and I both, sir.
and
Just to be
and
honest.
I just remember those games, and it was the best players in the league all on ice, split into their sides, and they want to friggin' win. And you know what I mean? They're not out there to take care of themselves because they're afraid that, oh, I might get injured, meaning I'll mess things up for my team going on. They were out to win. This is different, and different is good. I mean, we still get to see these great players.
Hmm.
You know, I'll say for the All-Star competition, um, and you might want to ask me if I want to check to see if I'm sick. Um, Suzuki, the young man who plays for the team that shall not be named, with a beautiful looking bar down goal on the save streak
that
competition.
that that was a
What
nice
a
looking goal.
snipe.
Well,
Holy crap, that was good. I mean, it looked fantastic. And I like that. I like seeing
right.
those types of things and stuff like that. They're fantastic. But the it's a much different type of feel.
So the All Star game now is really, there's really not any checking. For the most part, they're
No.
not hitting slap shots out there. It's mostly, you know, tic tac toe passes and a shot.
Yeah.
And I would love to see a Jillian Dempsey from right here in Boston, the Boston Pride, Ali Thunstrom from the Whitecaps, I think it is. I'm trying to think. Kennedy Marchment.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to learn PHF. I'm a slow learner, but I am getting there. Callie Flanagan, also from Boston, like excellent defense person. It's because it's kind of become this kind of a tic tac toe pass, pass and shoot kind of game. You kind of rule out, physically, you rule out like a 7-foot Zdeno Chara versus a 5'6" Jillian Dempsey. I think she's around that size. I apologize if
Yeah.
I'm way off. Skating, passing, shooting.
And
And if we're comparing skating, passing, shooting, men versus women, I don't think you're going to see much of a difference there in terms of the quality of hockey that can be played.
it would be tremendous to have them play together as teams, get out there and go, and frankly, it lets you open things up. You could have, I mean, think about the players that they selected from the NHL. Now you put the PHF in there as well, and now you've got enough players to play 5-on-5.
Sure.
All like, go back to
A real
five on
5-on-5 game.
five,
Yeah.
a real 5-on-5, and let's see it go. Like,
It,
let's see. I mean, honestly,
for
like,
the
let's just do
traditionalist,
it.
if you still want to see the NHLers, then maybe you take the people who participated in the skills competitions and have them play against the PHF All Stars. I mean, they're all highly talented. It would still make for a
Yeah,
great game. So
I think so. I think it'd be fantastic. Yeah. So look, the All-Star game, it is what it is. It's a holiday mostly for the players, even the ones that are involved. It's a holiday. Everyone's having a good time in Vegas. The fans are there. One of the things that I really enjoyed about this was when they're panning the crowd and you're seeing representatives from and fans of every team in the stands.
and that's a big deal. I
That
know
is a
Connor
big
McDavid
deal.
doesn't like it, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, I love seeing fans representation there and stuff like that. It was magnificent. So look, uh, it is what it is. We'll be getting back to the regular season shortly. For the Hurricanes, it's a game that was one of the games that was postponed earlier
Hmm.
against the Leafs, which brings turmoil in my household, uh, as always, because my wife is a Leafs fan. I'm the Hurricanes fan. And so for, about a 3 hour period, there's not the, you know, I don't even know how you describe it. It's quieter here.
Gotcha.
And yeah, we're watching the game intently. And some celebrate more than others. As always, what's on the line is the requirement that whoever should win, the uh, the team from the losing side, they've got to wear gear for a picture that's posted.
Nice. I like
So,
that. And to tie it into the All-Star game real quick,
yeah,
uh Campbell and Anderson both in the save streak,
yeah,
fantastic.
they were
No
great.
offense to Tristan Jarry, but you stopped that streak. Freddie did great,
Yeah,
and
even
just had to
yeah,
throw that in there. I had to give
and
Anderson a shout out.
and you know what? And we didn't even get to mention the man who really stole the show.
4 for 4,
Four for
and whose
four.
interview got cut off the way I cut you off. Like they just axed him.
It was unbelievable, but Sebastian Aho showing his skill in accuracy 4 for 4. I think there's only 7 players that have ever done it 4 for 4. He did not have the fastest time. I think that was Daniel Sedin who had that at like 7 seconds for 4 for 4. But he did very, very well for himself.
And he
Sebastian Aho,
he did it
yeah,
under 10 seconds. If you go back and watch it frame by, they
yeah,
let about an extra second on the clock.
I
And
know.
don't forget that who won that last year?
Who did win it
Hurricanes own
last year?
Jacob Slavin, baby.
That's right. That's right.
2 years in a row.
Look
You
at
want to know why the
that.
Hurricanes have a plus 47 goal differential, give or take? It's because
That
those guys can
explains
shoot.
it. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. They're picking their spots. It's friggin' awesome. So congrats to Aho, and let's see some of that, some more of the expertise that they have displayed all season long as we continue into the second half of the season.
You know where they're going to need it, Ray? You brought up Toronto Hurricanes on Monday, which I'm
Yeah.
totally looking forward to.
Yep.
I almost said Boston on the 10th is circled on my calendar, and it is.
It
Because
is.
if
I'm
we win
sure.
that one, those flags are, well, the flags are flying either way.
Always.
February 16th, Wednesday, February 16th. If you don't have a circle on your calendar, Caniacs, mark it. Hurricanes, Panthers. If you want to know how good you truly are against the rest of the league, the Maple Leafs are a pretty solid option.
Yep.
But I think how you can play the Panthers is going to determine a lot about what may need to be addressed, if anything, as we move towards the trade deadline.
That's they're kind of the measuring stick, aren't they? Like, and they're the measuring stick for the Hurricanes because, as you've pointed out in the past very eloquently, that they give the Hurricanes the type of game the Hurricanes give everyone else. And
True.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
I said that? That sounds pretty
yes, you
smart.
certainly did. It was brilliant. And it's exactly it's the greatest form of mirror talent, skill, effort that the Hurricanes are ever going to find in the league, because they play very similar games. They have talent throughout their lineup, just like the Hurricanes do. They can roll 4 lines. I mean, they've got great goaltending. They're fast. They're on top of you for pressure all the time. That's what Carolina does. And so you want to see how the Hurricanes are doing? Put them up against the Panthers and watch them go.
We alluded to that. Hurricanes fans far and wide, I'm sure, knew about it yesterday. Stadium Series is coming back February 2023. We get our game. I think we've said this before on the show. Ray's going to try and make it from Calgary. I'm trying to make it from Boston. We have other folks we know that are going to try and come in, maybe even from overseas. So if you're a fan of the show, you want to meet Ray and I in person. Ray, people may forget, like, if you and I just want to meet in person,
yeah,
that might be the day, right?
This is, I mean, I desperately wanted to. The wife and I are planning a trip to Boston here. Hopefully, I will be healthy enough and free, and the borders will be open, and we'll be able to travel.
Oh, I hope so.
We're hoping to get to the East Coast here coming up this year in about 6 months or so, 5-6 months. So we're crossing our fingers on that, because then I get to actually meet you in person, and maybe we even do
looking forward to it.
Maybe we even do a podcast where we're in the same place. Wouldn't that be weird?
No lag, no internet lag, no weird audio stitches from the internet.
So I'm looking forward to that. But what better thing to do than to meet up with Caniacs as we're all tailgating and enjoying the best part about the NHL, aside from the Carolina Hurricanes and seeing great action, but the camaraderie amongst people all over.
It'll be huge. I've reached out to Pours for Scores. We have something hopefully in the works that'll be fun for everybody. And part of the reason I brought up now was the opponent hasn't been set yet. It sounds like maybe it's going to be a divisional or a traditional rival for us.
Sure.
The Panthers is one of those teams. I know they're getting the All-Star game, so maybe they don't get double dipped for next year. But that'd be one of those teams I'd love to see. That being said, I don't know if it'll be the Preds. So I'm thinking this might be a Hurricanes Capitals game. If I'm putting Vegas money down, I'm betting this is going to be a Hurricanes Capitals game.
That's kind of where I was leaning. Although something could be said to give you what you so desperately want, and that would be a Canes Bruins game.
I think Tampa, because the Bruins are getting the outdoor game at Fenway. Same year.
Same year.
So the Bruins are. So the Bruins are going to be playing at Fenway.
One thing that I tell all fans who will listen to me here in Calgary, we get into hockey discussions, like family, friends all over. I said, you guys have not enjoyed hockey until you've enjoyed it in Raleigh. The fans, the tailgating, the enjoyment is second to none. The most fun that I've ever, and yes, it was a little aimed directly at me because a lot of people knew I was coming down and they put on a party for me just for being there. But over and over and over, you go throughout the parking lot and everyone's tailgating. It's just not one group tailgating because Judge Wapner is coming into Raleigh for the first time to see his team. Everyone was celebrating. And if you were cheering for the other team that night, you still enjoyed a wobbly pop or two that were offered by fans of the Canes, and they want to talk hockey and they want, you know what I mean? Like it's a great environment. The environment is amazing. And you imagine putting that in a tailgate atmosphere
with 50,000 instead of 18,000.
That is going to be so much fun.
As our audience has grown, and knock on wood, and we've been very fortunate, pretty much every week or so, our audience is continues to grow for who's listening. But if you're not, if you're a hockey fan and not a Canes fan, but you're in Raleigh and can catch a game, just go. Show up a couple hours early, even in the winter.
Yeah.
And like you said, just walk through the parking lot, and if you see people, if they're tailgating, you might see full on grills and everything. You might see, a quarter of a pig, being done.
man, that's
Like
what I
you
was greeted
just
with.
walk
Holy
up,
cow.
introduce yourself, hey, and people are so friendly and just if you want if you're if you want to talk hockey and just enjoy being around people that enjoy hockey and just want to have a good, fun, positive experience, just go. I mean, if you don't have to, you can park across the street at the fairgrounds lot for nothing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have tickets, and just go just see the tailgating. Even if you can't make it to the game for some reason, go just see the tailgate. It's an event in and of itself.
If anything, you're going to learn barbecue tips. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
you could sit there and talk to these people, and I mean, they won't give you the secret spice rub down that they have for the pig that they got on them. They won't give you
Mm-hmm.
that, but you'll have lots to talk about aside from the hockey. And they're friendly, and it's amazing.
We've said it
Go to
before that
Raleigh.
we had a great time, even Stanley Cup Finals with Game 7 on the line beforehand with the Oilers fans.
Yep.
Everybody was there. Everybody was talking hockey. There was the friendly, jovial joking around and
Yeah.
trash talking. But it's part of hockey culture,
That is
and as
part
long
of
as
it.
it's jokey, I think that's fine. And
Yeah.
it was, and there were so many Oiler fans there with no tickets who came down to tailgate and party.
Yeah.
And then they the Canes put up a huge outdoor screen to watch the game for people who didn't have tickets. I mean, that's how many people were outside who can't even get in. It was amazing.
Amazing. So check it. I cannot tell you how amazing it was to see the announcement. Um, that the game that is long overdue, meant to be there earlier, FU pandemic, um, that blew up the opportunity earlier. Uh, no one's forgotten what it's going to be like. You know what I mean? No one's forgotten
Yeah.
how great this is going to be, and they put it back down into Raleigh. I don't care who they play. I just know it's going to be a good time, and I
This will have
desperately want to be
a
there.
playoff atmosphere for sure. Regardless of the record of the team, who we're playing, this is going to be a lot of Caniacs showing up. A lot of people coming. I've already heard from people, at least a dozen people out of state, who are like, if we can get tickets, we're coming. If we can't get tickets, we're still coming because maybe we can get them there. So
Yeah.
I think with
And
50,000-ish tickets, I don't think getting tickets will be a problem.
yeah.
Um,
The other
just be
it was
quick.
one, just unbelievably, we've already had people leave messages on Facebook and stuff saying that they were going to be there. One of the fellows that put it up there is from Calgary as well. So Calgary is
You
not
guys can
just going to
road
be
trip it.
like we're not just repping, I'm not the only rep from Calgary who's going to be making the trip. There's
That's
others that are
awesome.
coming down. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like they're going to be coming from everywhere, and that's what we want, and that's what the StormCellar is about.
Absolutely.
Bringing
I'm
everyone
hoping to hook up
together.
with some of the Boston Caniacs. I mean, Sarah Sivian's from Boston, Haley on
Oh
Twitter's
man,
from Boston. So I can't wait to meet those folks in general. But I'm like, oh, like this will be super cool, right?
very
But
fun, very
I
fun
have an
indeed.
idea. I think you and the other Calgary Caniac,
Yeah,
you drive down. I don't know how many hours it is, what, 24, 30 hours, and
probably.
you film it all, and we don't edit it. We just throw it all on YouTube.
Oh man,
That sounds horrible,
yeah,
doesn't it?
that sounds it sounds frightening, but sounds like fun too. Let's like I said, let's hope the borders are open and the pandemic is long, long, long behind us, so that it can be just the focus on the happiness and joy of being together with Caniacs and jerks alike, celebrating the team and cheering the boys on to a victory outdoors. Because outdoor hockey is something that is, I mean, it's something that even I, who did not play organized hockey at all, was always as a kid going out onto the lake, and we were playing shinny all the time. Like if you weren't playing shinny on the ice skating, you were playing road hockey. I mean, this is the sport. This is what we love, bringing everyone together. I can't.
I was muted.
Oh, whoops.
That's funny. So good news or bad news? Like bad news first? Let's do bad news
Yeah,
first.
always let's always do the bad news first.
This is a super short episode, so our time is going to be up for today, real short here. Uh, we didn't want it. We already did our first half predictions. I think we already even talked about second half a little bit. We covered the All-Star game. We talked about the Stadium Series. Um, we're going to relax a little bit. The good news is, as I would tell my son, is there's only 2 more sleeps until the Hurricanes are back on the ice. And
Indeed.
it's Hurricanes Leafs. So I can't wait. I hope we see pictures of Carolyn in I don't know if it's your or Hurricanes jersey. I assume it's yours.
It's mine. She
does not have one of her own.
No. She's always worn my the Eric Stahl jersey that I had. I still have.
Good choice.
But what I think I might do this time is put her in the old New England Whalers jersey.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? Or whichever. And I know it's not a Whalers game and stuff like that, but look, to me, the spirit is still the same.
It really is.
The spirit is still the same. It's still as meaningful. And there's some Caniacs who are our listeners who, without doubt, will say, look, that was Hartford. That was in New England. We are Canes now. If you really wanted to put it to her, make her wear the Canes gear. She's worn the Canes gear a few times in the past. So let's just put that out there. As I have been subjected to posting things of supporting the Leafs, and it hurts.
It does, but it's in good fun.
But it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. The Leafs are coming on strong. They're playing to their capability, and it's going to be a tremendous second half. We really and it's Leafs, Senators back-to-back nights. And the Senators are not slouches either. They've proven that to us in the past. And then the Bruins. I mean, really
good lineup. And the good news for Carolyn's is this is not a second round playoff game, so the Leafs have a chance.
Exactly. But ladies and gentlemen,
thank you.
Give it up. Yeah. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I can't wait for the podcasts to come, because there's always something new coming forth, and we're looking forward to it.
Same here. Big shout out to Beth and Courtney for joining us last week. That was a super fun episode.
It was.
I edited about half of it, and then I said, we're just going to leave it at natural and let things flow.
Let
big
it flow.
Thanks to them.
Indeed.
And that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from both of those women. Just, seeing what they post and following up, and when they post links and things, doing that. I encourage other people to do the same.
100% from center ice,
because they don't just know NHL hockey, folks. They know NHL, PHA, Olympic hockey. Like they, top to bottom, AHL especially.
Yeah, so they're on top of it, and very smart, very funny, very entertaining. That's what you want in a podcast. They're enjoyable, and follow them and read Beth's work, Beyond Women's Sports.
Yeah, they're going full tilt over there with the Olympics, so I've been doing that. It's all bookmarked.
She was joining Courtney on this week's episode of From Center Ice, and she was preparing for the late nights of watching women's Olympic hockey, and they made a point of saying, when we started the episode, Canada was just getting on the ice with, I can't even remember, it was Switzerland, I think. And suddenly it was 8-0 by the end of the thing. Like it was,
we logged off and it's 8-0.
Yeah, we logged off. It was 8-0. It was like, yeah. So
it's good stuff.
Check it out, and really, really, really looking forward to Canada versus the U.S. women's hockey. There is nothing better.
Always one of the games of the year.
Always,
whether it's Worlds or Olympics. Always one of the games of the year.
So fierce competition. And thankfully, we usually get it at least twice in the competitions, because it's the round robin portion first, followed by the medal round, and making your way to the finals. And it's going to be Canada versus US, and it's going to be awesome and worth your time. Check it out. Yeah. There's really not much more else to say, is there?
Yeah. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
thank you everyone for tuning in. Ray and I greatly appreciate your support in helping us produce an informative and fun podcast. As always, we'd like to say that we believe hockey is for everyone. Whether you're a Caniac or a bunch of jerks, doesn't matter, as we're just a couple of jerks anyway. We would love to hear your questions, comments, and suggestions. We will do our best to answer anything hockey related. You can reach us via email at stormcellar97@gmail.com. On Twitter, we are at stormcellar97, and on Facebook at facebook.com/stormcellar97.